Welcome back to RV News, the #1 channel bringing you daily updates, in-depth analysis, and breaking news surrounding the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese dong, and all related global currency reset developments. If you've been following us closely, you already know that we leave no stone unturned in helping you stay informed and prepared for the moment we've all been waiting for. And today, we are diving into one of the most significant pieces of intel we have ever received. The Iraqi dinar exchange process officially began at exactly 11:51 a.m. on August 18th, and this could be the moment where everything shifts from speculation into reality. If you are holding Iraqi dinar, if you have been studying this process for years, or if you're simply curious about how this global financial event will unfold, then this episode is going to give you clarity, direction, and possibly confirmation that the window for profit has finally opened. The buzz started circulating early in the morning of August 18th when reports from key banking contacts, currency traders, and insider sources began to converge on the same point: the official exchange process for the Iraqi dinar was triggered at 11:51 a.m. local Baghdad time. This timestamp wasn't random. Insiders are saying that the Iraqi central bank had been preparing for weeks, testing systems, aligning with international platforms like SWIFT and ISO 20022 compliance, and ensuring that redemption centers were fully ready to process transactions. The moment that switch was flipped, the ripple began moving through the banking world. Imagine for a moment years of rumors, delays, and speculation, all culminating in a single minute that could mark the beginning of a global financial reset. What makes this even more significant is that this reported launch aligns with the timing windows we've heard whispered about for months. August 18th was already on the radar as a potential go date, with multiple confirmations that liquidity was ready, contracts were finalized, and banks had received memos instructing them on how to proceed once the green light was given. The exact time, 11:51, has sparked discussions about precision and coordination. Why not noon exactly? Why an oddly specific minute? Some believe it reflects military-level synchronization, ensuring global systems went live simultaneously without triggering unnecessary alarms in the markets. It's not just about flipping a switch. It's about aligning with international settlements, cross-border payment systems, and compliance with IMF and World Bank requirements. For years, people have doubted whether the Iraqi dinar would ever revalue. Skeptics have called it a scam, naysayers have insisted that Iraq's economy is too fragile, and critics have ridiculed the idea of ordinary people profiting from a currency reset. But here we are in 2025, and the pieces are finally coming together. Iraq has rebuilt much of its infrastructure, secured new oil deals, strengthened its foreign reserves, and taken steps toward economic sovereignty. The political turmoil that once plagued the nation has been stabilizing, and with global energy markets in flux, Iraq is positioned as a key player. The revaluation of the dinar isn't just about making investors rich, it's about Iraq asserting its rightful place on the global economic stage. So what does this mean for you, the dinar holder, right now? The most critical point to understand is that this process is unfolding in stages. At 11:51 a.m. on August 18th, the internal banking systems went live. This doesn't mean that every person holding dinar could instantly walk into a bank and cash out. Instead, the process begins with the Tier 1 participants, the sovereign entities, large funds, and government-level contracts that establish the liquidity foundation. From there, it moves into Tier 2 groups, which include major organizations, corporations, and structured groups that have negotiated pre-arranged rates. Then comes Tier 3, and finally, Tier 4B, the general public, which includes you and me. The fact that Tier 1 has now started is monumental because it proves that the system isn't theoretical anymore, it's operational. Insiders have said that the Tier 1 exchanges started processing instantly once the system was activated, with confirmations being logged, settlements queued, and funds allocated. If you're wondering how long it will take to reach Tier 4B, the answer varies depending on the source. Some suggest that it could be a matter of days, while others believe the process could take weeks to ensure stability. But what everyone agrees on is that once Tier 1 has begun, the domino effect is unstoppable. We are now in the phase where you need to be ready, because at any moment, you could receive notifications, instructions, or announcements from your bank regarding your appointment to exchange your currency. Let's pause and talk about preparation, because this is where profits are either secured or lost. If you're holding Iraqi dinar, you must already have a plan. Do you know which bank you're going to? Do you understand the difference between contract rates, market rates, and international rates? Are you aware of the documents you'll need to provide to ensure a smooth exchange? And most importantly, have you thought through how you're going to manage this sudden increase in wealth responsibly? The fact that the exchange process has started means the countdown has officially begun for you to act. The banks aren't going to wait forever, and opportunities for higher contract rates may only be available to those who are prepared, informed, and ready to move quickly. Another critical detail that emerged from August 18th's launch is that specific redemption centers in the US, Canada, and Europe were notified to remain on high alert. These centers are staffed with specially trained personnel who understand how to process foreign currency exchanges linked to the revaluation. They are not your everyday bank tellers. They're professionals who know exactly how to handle the paperwork, compliance checks, and rate negotiations involved in this process. Reports indicate that some of these centers were told to expect appointments as early as within 72 hours of the initial go signal. That means by the time you are watching this video, we could already be in the window where Tier 4B notifications are being queued up. Now, let's address the question on everyone's mind. What rates are we talking about? While I cannot confirm exact numbers until they are publicly visible, the chatter coming from multiple reliable sources points to astonishing figures. Whispers of rates in the $5 to $6 range for the Iraqi dinar have been circulating for weeks, and August 18th's activation only strengthens those rumors. If that range proves true, then the profit potential is life-changing. For example, if you hold a single 25,000 IQD note and the rate is confirmed at $6 per dinar, that note would be worth $150,000 at exchange. Multiply that across even a modest holding, and the results are staggering. This is why preparation and responsibility are absolutely essential, because overnight, ordinary people could find themselves in possession of generational wealth. Skeptics might ask, if this is true, why isn't it all over the mainstream media? That's a fair question, but the reality is that global financial shifts of this magnitude are rarely announced through traditional channels until after the fact. The banking world operates under strict non-disclosure agreements, classified memos, and controlled leaks. By the time CNN, Bloomberg, or CNBC are reporting it, the insiders have already acted. That's why being tuned into RV News and other independent channels is so critical. You're getting the information while it's unfolding, not after it's been sanitized and repackaged for mass consumption. The timing of August 18th also aligns with broader geopolitical movements. Iraq recently announced new oil agreements that dramatically increase its leverage in global energy markets. Simultaneously, international organizations like the IMF have been signaling that Iraq's economy is now strong enough to support a realistic and internationally recognized exchange rate. Combine that with reports of massive transfers of funds into Iraq's central bank, and you can see why the 11:51 a.m. activation wasn't just a rumor, it was the culmination of years of preparation. This wasn't about hype, it was about execution. That if you're wondering how the banks are handling this, the answer is carefully. Each participating bank has received strict protocols outlining how to verify currency authenticity, process the exchange, and manage liquidity. Anti-money laundering checks are in place, customer identity verifications are required, and each transaction is logged into international compliance systems. This ensures that the process is legitimate, secure, and immune to fraud. It also means that anyone attempting to cut corners or bypass proper procedures will likely be denied. For legitimate holders, however, this is a golden opportunity. As this process unfolds, the key for you is to remain calm, prepared, and vigilant. The temptation to panic or rush into decisions will be strong, especially as rumors about rates and timelines fly around the internet. But remember, this is not a lottery ticket. This is a carefully orchestrated financial event. The people who come out ahead will be the ones who take a disciplined approach. That means having your currency authenticated, keeping your documents organized, researching your bank's procedures, and having a clear post-exchange strategy. What will you do with the funds? Will you invest, save, donate, or build B?